Well, it's time for our submission-only final here tonight in the Apocalypse Fight Series. And it's Connor Campbell, the first man to make it through the semifinals. Andy Roberts BJJ with nasty leg locks, a very tricky guard, and a great attacking style. This is going to be a dream matchup against Callum Atkinson. And here he is from the Isle of Wight tonight, also victorious earlier in the preliminary proceedings. Callum Atkinson from Mill Hill BJJ. Again, very strong for the age, great defense, great counters, as well as a great front choke game. So this is gonna be a great matchup of two, again, contrasting styles and two young, exciting athletes. Callum Atkinson there with the yellow Valetudo shorts and the blue rash guard. His opponent here tonight, Connor Campbell, who pulls guard immediately, and we are underway here, 10 minutes on the clock. Chris Hoekstra on the commentary alongside Dean Midat. Wow, a taste of his own medicine perhaps, courtesy of Atkinson with that toe hold. And to the feet in a jiffy is Connor Campbell.
Atkinson, very quick, very explosive. I love the way he's almost got a button on his body. When he feels himself in danger, he'll escape, but he'll also threaten at the same time, which gives your opponent not enough time to counter. Again, we see Campbell jumping for that guard.
And looking there for an ankle lock. Both fighters thinking about that technique, but a little bit too shallow on both accounts. The lock not being low towards the Achilles tendon where that would intend to put pressure, but sliding into a guillotine from Mount. Wow, this kid's got serious front chokes, as we said, Dean. Soldier boy in that thing home, high elbow. And I love the way he comes in, resets, and then goes arm in here. He may have enough on this one to get it, Dean, but what resilience here. Campbell to his feet and an escape. Gonna get a warning about the crank. But Atkinson went for that one like lightning, Dean, and struck with thunder.
Campbell's hand fighting was the key there. He got his hand underneath the chin that was choking him. And again, he jumps the guard. You have to be careful because Atkinson's passing game is very strong. Very good downward dominant pressure. He's going to look to get that left knee driven through.
To frame up and reinforce. The one thing that also sticks out is the way that he transitions from that to the toe hold. Dangerous times here. Atkinson got to be very careful, and it's a submission. Early points here for Connor Campbell, and it's a mirror image of the previous round. A lot of time here on the clock, though, Dean.
Campbell was looking for that figure four ankle lock, but quickly turned it into a knee bar. Now he's up on the scorecards. Again, we've seen this before with him. When he's up on the scorecards, Chris, his confidence grows, and he gets better as he goes along.
And Dean, that's an important aspect that we highlighted as well in the concept and the format of tournament fighting. When you've got to face multiple opponents in an evening, and as well as uncertainty as to who you will face in the subsequent rounds. And already though, Atkinson continues to struggle to try to pass the guard of Connor Campbell.
Campbell on the bottom, utilizing his knee. It's his knee across the belly of Atkinson to keep that distance. Again, so comfortable just to jump the guard off his back, looking for the half guard. Again, he gets it. But Atkinson again with that pressure from the knee, switches around now, finds himself utilizing the head pressure there. Could drop down for a guillotine, uses it to sweep. Again, Campbell with the hand fight. You see the way he's got 2-on-1. Two of his hands on his opponent's one arm.
And that makes that choke just a little bit more difficult to get on, as well as obviously buying him time to fish out. Excellent pass here again from Atkinson. I love the knee slice he used to attack the neck and the way he blocks Connor Campbell's hips to secure north-south here. Campbell walking up the fence. Atkinson staying heavy here as things slow down for the first time in a long time.
Atkinson now very wise, looks to look north-south, but opted to pull Campbell away from the cage to gain some space. See, now sitting in side control, he needs his head over that side to keep the pressure and the weight downward to stop Campbell moving on the bottom. As we see there, Campbell turned out. As soon as Atkinson let the pressure off, Campbell was able to turn.
Wow, what an excellent scramble here. And Connor Campbell having to play a little bit of defense to retain this position and disallow the knee slice here. You can see the way that Atkinson is trying to slide his left leg out from the clasp and control of his opponent, Connor Campbell. Campbell searching for the underhook with the left arm. Great weight down now from Atkinson. That's the right time to get heavy, Dean.
Atkinson now, beautiful pressure. Looking for a base, but he could find himself in another knee bar here, Chris. You see Campbell's rolling over there. All he's got to do is pop that right leg out.
But stuffed here from Atkinson.
Campbell now off his back. He's utilizing his feet very well. See the knee across the belly of Atkinson. It serves to control where Atkinson is if he can advance forward. Often you let your opponent put the pressure on you and then slide your knee off to advance into a position that you'd like. But at the moment, Atkinson finding it very difficult to get his leg out of that position.
But the one thing he's done a better job of, at least in learning from the previous time he got caught, was keeping heavy when he senses the invert from Campbell. Campbell now on the back continues to try and lock up this half guard here, or really what's a quarter guard nearly. But I think he's really got one thing in mind, and that is getting a hold of the leg one more time, Dean.
You'll see Campbell swim around, try and underhook that leg and keep his knee across the belly to stop Atkinson advancing forward and then swing around for that knee bar. But both athletes now back on their feet.
And both athletes are certainly aware of the consequences. It also looks to me like Atkinson is feeling a little bit twisted up after getting leg locked.
Now that can play a valid point here. Oh, big guard jump landed down the mat. But Atkinson could be hurt. That knee bar could have twinged something and took some of the power and the dominance out of we've known him for. We've seen him in the previous match just be able to smash past the guard. But he's having trouble here getting caught up in the half guard.
I like the way he's looking for that neck again. He does such a great job of passing and attacking that thing in clean fashion. Look to try to lock up that figure four there, Dean, a Darce. But he's let go, and I think looks to be possibly swapping back to an arm-in guillotine. Can't quite tell the level of torque he has from our position.
Campbell's doing the right thing, though. He's making himself a small ball, and he's holding on to that half guard very well.
And framing very neatly to try and reinforce this position using that Z guard. Nice half guard template there. I love it. You see the way that he keeps his right arm to the right side of Atkinson wherever possible. He's trying to fish that right arm in right now. There we go. He resecures it. Atkinson strips it. Those are the mini battles of invisible jiu-jitsu at the higher levels of stuff that we see in such a competition, Dean.
So you see the key here is the right leg of Campbell. If Atkinson can stuff that, if he can feed his arm in between both of the legs and pass, and we see him now working towards what it looks like from the turtle position.
He may have a possible necktie here. He's got a Peruvian off this if he wants it. But again, the wire will be an obstruction. The dying minutes of the round here on the clock. Atkinson thinks about the back take. I like that, though. He went one way and then thought about the other. But Campbell read it and recovered. It's been a much better last few minutes for Atkinson. I mean, he's certainly been the aggressor here, Dean.
It's interesting to hear Campbell's corner. They're telling him to hunt for that leg.
Of course, they're up on the scorecard, so we have to consider that this is a moment here where both fighters may see the consequences on the end of the finish line, Dean.
Campbell relentless from this position. The key here, as we said, is his right knee across the belly as he searches around here, Chris, looking for the leg lock.
And a beautiful attempt there at the invert from Campbell, but too little too late. Thinking about the arm drag is Atkinson, the head snap then. Campbell, though, I think he knows he's up on the scorecards right now, Dean. As long as he doesn't get tapped, he can continue with the modus operandi. Thinking about Berimbolo there, huh?
He's still playing with that inverted guard on the bottom from the half guard. A lot of guys wouldn't be so comfortable there, but he's hooking the back of Atkinson's knee. And down below, if you go lower to the Achilles tendon area, Chris, you get a lot of control there. You can see, oh, and he's given his leg up here. Atkinson's working for this, Chris.
Atkinson using that figure four to try to attack the Achilles, but again, not deep enough on the leg. He has to get much lower. But a little bit of a scare there for Campbell. Campbell again attacks off his back. Atkinson with the pressure. Atkinson putting all the weight down, but gets tied up again.
You can see Campbell's left arm. You see it reach around there, the back of the leg of Atkinson. That's really holding that leg in place. What Atkinson wants to do is get that leg through. But Campbell's blocking that off beautiful and forcing Atkinson into that position.
They're talking to each other, team. This is great. The head pressure, they lock up. It's like a scene from a wrestling tournament here as both fighters furiously clasp here in the clinch. Atkinson again trying the head snap. And he charges in. But it's going to be, as the clock continues to run here, a no-win scenario unless he can get some taps.
Atkinson again frantically looking to get out of the half guard. Campbell's so comfortable off his back in that position that Atkinson just cannot pass. Atkinson needs to think about funneling his left arm down the middle of the legs of Campbell, but as we say that, the time runs out.
Well, there it is, folks, the end of the fight, and the winner will receive a 150-pound prize as well as a grappler's gift package. It was a long road tonight for both of these gentlemen, but it will be Connor Campbell from Andy Roberts, BJJ, the tallest fighter, as well as one of the youngest in this tournament, that steals the W with an undefeated run here tonight in Bognor Regis in the Apocalypse Fight Series.
By 1 submission to 0 in the blue corner, weighing 150 pounds, and this is Jamie, this is your team. We're going to talk about ways to tell guys out there tonight. It was one more time.
Again, all taken up and I've got to say, congrats on how it's something that can now share. It's like the family is feeling this. James,
It was safe to say that was a significant factor. You know, coming up from Blue Ball, they were not used to those rules. They were not used to those techniques. You felt comfortable with those now, and it paid off.
Yeah, man, 100% so comfortable with the again. The coaches looking for the grounds and the rally.
Connor was excited. You went out there and you pushed every movement all that around and came off. You won. You won the championship, and you were undefeated.